The Shorekeeper and her little minion Youhu have officially been revealed as the characters dropping in the first half of 1.3. The Shorekeeper will be our 5-star character and Youhu will be our first new 4-star character, which I assume will be on the Shorekeeper's banner and is seriously overdue since we have been dying for a new 4-star character. Now the 5-star character for the second phase is yet to be revealed, but I am pretty confident it will be Camellya, since we are soon stepping into Black Shore's territory within the story. But for now, I'd like to go over the first phase characters and more specifically, the potential the Shorekeeper holds and it being enough to completely skip the 1.2 characters. That being said, it would only be Baizhi you would really be skipping since Zhang Liao was confirmed to be a free character, which is insane and it will definitely help in managing your astrites for the next few banners after him. However, fully investing into Zhang Liao by picking up a signature weapon will be something to consider since he is a main DPS character, which I will go over after the brand new 1.3 characters. Now just before we jump into it, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Now the Shorekeeper will be our first 5-star character of 1.3 and it goes without saying, she looks absolutely stunning design wise and you get the calm and elegant vibe from her just like with Jinxi. At first sight, I'm sure many players assumed her to be a Glacio type character given the amount of blue there is in her design. Also, the sound effects played towards the end of the video format drip marketing really does hint at the Shorekeeper being a Glacio character. However, Baizhi will be the character out just before the Shorekeeper drops and we already know that Baizhi is going to be a Glacio character, so it would be hard to imagine two characters of the same element dropping back to back. Taking a look at the Shorekeeper's archive, it does state that the Shorekeeper is a mysterious divine being and has spent eons in guardianship. So with that, I am confident that she will be a Spectro character since anything related to gods and divinity would most likely be linked to Spectro, given it's the element that symbolizes light, so it would make sense for the Shorekeeper to be a Spectro character. Now as for her role, along with players dying for a new 4-star character, we have also been desperately waiting for our first exclusive support character. So purely based off a design, I do believe the Shorekeeper will be the exclusive support character we have been waiting for, which most likely means she will also be a Rectifier user, since our only true support characters being Verina and Baizhi are Rectifier users and the Shorekeeper would just be following the trend. Now there is a slight conflict if the Shorekeeper is truly a Spectro support character since Verina is kinda already a Spectro support character. However, I do believe it wouldn't matter at all if both 5-star support characters are Spectro, since they may play completely different to each other and in regards to endgame content we do require 3 teams to be built. So Verina and the Shorekeeper would be on 2 different teams, meaning having both on your account would definitely be ideal. Now as for what the Shorekeeper may possibly provide through her kit. If she is going to contend with Verina for the best Spectro support position, the ability to heal and provide damage buffs to the team would be mandatory. So I would expect that to be the least the Shorekeeper can provide and possibly for the heals and buffs to be even greater than Verina's. Along with that, I do expect the Shorekeeper to provide additional support such as possibly buffing energy recharge for the team or even concerto energy recharge, which would be massive in allowing characters to deal their liberations much more often and for rotations to be even quicker. Also, something completely unique being introduced to the game would definitely be a possibility, considering the Shorekeeper is the leader of the Black Shores from what I can assume from the archive. So similar to Jinxi being the leader of Jinzhou and introduced aerial combat, the Shorekeeper could introduce anything from traversing in a unique way such as running on water or something to do with her attacks and combat. So there is a lot of potential with the Shorekeeper and I know most of this is speculation, but just if the Shorekeeper is a support character similar to Verina, I do believe it would automatically make her a must summon for every player, which may change some players' plans on summoning in 1.2, but before I go over that, we have our first new 4-star character to go over. Now an amazing aspect of WutheringWaves is that even the 4-stars hold a lot of value as they all have their own use, whether it's universal or niche. So unlike many other gacha games, 4-stars aren't to be looked over in WutheringWaves, meaning Youhu will definitely have some value. Now as for Yuhu's element, considering that she's wearing a giant icicle ring, it would be hard to not believe she will be a Glacio character. Also, taking a closer look at her hands, you can see that they are covered in ice and her thumb on the hand that she is holding up clearly shows it. So it would confirm her to be a Glacio character and bring me on to then assuming she will be a Gauntlet character, since when she takes her gloves off she could possibly fortify her hands with ice. Now you might think we already have a Glacio Gauntlet character being Yangyang, but Youhu is a 4-star character, so it wouldn't lock out the possibility of her being a Glacio Gauntlet character just like Yangyang. As for her role, she could either be a main DPS character or a sub DPS character. However, as Yangyang does already fit the criteria of a Glacio Gauntlet main DPS character, I assume they would want to provide something different for our first new 4-star character so that most players would want to use her instead of just leaving her in the box. So there really wouldn't be any better way but to make her a sub DPS character, since they would hold the most value after support characters. Now, the only two elements in a game that are missing a character that provides increased elemental damage through the outro skill would be both Spectro and Glacio. So there is a chance that Youhu will be our Glacio character to provide an increase in Glacio damage bonus, which wouldn't benefit many characters right now since we only have Yangyang and Sanhua. However, this outro skill would future-proof her, so when a strong Glacio main DPS character does drop, it would increase Yuhu's value as she may be the best in slot support for that main DPS character. Also, considering she is a 4-star, it would make her pretty easy to pick up, and since she will be on the Shorekeeper's banner, most players should be able to pick her up since the Shorekeeper will be a character nearly everyone should be looking to summon for. So Youhu will likely have quite a bit of value if she does end up becoming a Glacio Sub DPS, and especially if she will be able to buff Glacio damage bonus, since then she would have the longevity to prove useful for any Glacio main DPS characters in the future, and may even resurrect Yangyang when she drops. Now as for what you should prioritize between the 1.2 characters and the Shorekeeper. Changli will be the first character dropping in 1.2 and is an Electro main DPS character. However, as I mentioned earlier, he is confirmed to be free, so fortunately enough you would be able to save your Astrites on his banner. But Changli's problem is that he will need his signature weapon. With that being said, I don't think fully investing into Changli would have more priority over picking up Baizhi and the Shorekeeper, since he is a main DPS character, meaning he automatically would have less longevity than Baizhi being a sub DPS character and the Shorekeeper potentially being a support character. Also, as clunky as Calcharo is, he is an Electro main DPS character I'm sure many players already have, and he can clear majority of content in the game. So Changli wouldn't be that valuable overall since he is replacing a character rather than filling a hole in the character roster, which means Changli would definitely have the least priority between the three. So picking up his weapon would be something to only consider if you are certain you can pick up Baizhi and the Shorekeeper after. Now moving on to Baizhi, which will be our Glacio Sub DPS character and would be known for her capability to support Jinchi. So with that, it is expected for her to deal coordinated attacks and buff resonant skill damage through her outro skill. So really, not only will she be able to support Jinchi but even Changli, since both Jinchi and Changli deal attack scaling off resonant skill damage. Additionally, Baizhi does hold a lot of value due to the lack of solid sub DPS characters, as Yinlin is in a very similar position to Verina where she is needed on multiple teams. However, you can build quite a few teams that wouldn't need Yinlin, but every team would still need Verina, meaning the support role is in even more need of a new support character. So as great as Baizhi will be, and I'm not discrediting her value, but the Shorekeeper would definitely have more priority for your account and would hold the most value, since support characters have more longevity than any other roles. If you are able to pick up both Baizhi and the Shorekeeper, that would be the best possible outcome for your account. But if you would need to prioritize one, it would likely need to be the Shorekeeper. Overall, the next upcoming characters in 1.2 and 1.3 will definitely provide an extremely tough time for many players since they all look great and hold enormous value. So the fact that Changli is a free character will definitely help in summoning for the characters after him, especially if Camellya is the character dropping in the second phase of 1.3. Again, with who you should prioritize, the Shorekeeper looks to be the most valuable if she is a support character. Then picking up Baizhi would be next and Changli's weapon following after. However, it is important to consider what is best for your own account. So it will be down to you to decide what will provide the most value based on what your account needs. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also drop a comment down below on what you will likely be spending your Astrites on from 1.2 and 1.3. And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.